Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on my channel. I'm currently here at Lake Metro Park in Austin with this gorgeous view. Just because I've been having such a weird week, I figured I may as well come out here, soak up some of the sun, listen to the birds, get attacked by too many bugs, but really just enjoy it all together because it's been weird, man. All right, so like I was saying, this week's been weird. I don't really know how to pinpoint it or explain it, but it just feels like I'm sluggish, I'm tired, I'm unmotivated, and I don't really know why. Okay, so just between you and me, I did get my second COVID vaccine shot yesterday, so there's a good chance my body's rejecting the microchip, but I don't want to blame this entire feeling on just that. If I'm being completely honest, I really had no motivation to film a video this week. I mean, the only reason why I'm even sitting here right now is because the YouTube algorithm is so unforgiving. I mean, seriously, if I go 1 week without posting a video, YouTube is just like, hey, sorry, your short-lived YouTube career is over. But yeah, I just really don't feel motivated. And I'm not doing this solely because of the algorithm. I really did come out here because I enjoy making videos. I love this whole YouTube thing. So I'm hoping if I come make a video and do the things I love, maybe my week will turn around. But of course, the YouTuber in me is also like, yo, Tim, use this as a topic in your video. And you know, it's a pretty good idea. So as I was planning this video, I was thinking to myself, there's two ways I can approach this. I can either pretend like I got my shit together, put on a persona, and just be happy-go-lucky all the time on the camera, or I can be honest with you guys. Now, obviously, from the way the video is going, you guys can probably tell I chose the latter, but I did this because, one, I feel like we need more honesty on the internet. I am tired of seeing everybody be so happy and life is great and this and that all the time because it gives us this fake perception of what life is really like. The reality is, I don't always have my shit together. Hell, most of the time I don't have my shit together. So why am I gonna sit here and pretend like I do and tell you guys like everything's great, everything's awesome, do this, do that, and you'll live just like me? Because we're human. We don't always have our shit together. Now, if you subscribe to this channel, you're probably very similar to me and you don't have your shit together all the time either, and that is totally okay. So let's make that the topic of today's video. If you don't have your shit together all the time, that is totally okay. No one does. Now, this might sound a little narcissistic, but I feel like I've always been in that leadership position. You know, I was the football captain, I was the big brother, I'm the guy on YouTube who tells people how to live their life. I feel like a lot of people have always turned to me, and they just assumed because they turned to me that I had my shit together. Even on my darkest days, or if I failed a giant project, people still came to me for answers, and I felt like, how am I supposed to sit here and tell them that I don't have everything figured out if they're gonna keep coming to me? Crazy for me now to look back on that stuff because I probably did look like the guy that had it all together. My doctor said I was healthy, I was a good athlete, I had good grades. Everyone just looked at me and thought, hey, this guy knows what he's doing, but the reality is, deep down inside, I had no clue what was going on. I was sad, I was depressed, I was a drug addict. I didn't have anything put together. It wasn't until I got older that I realized I didn't have to have everything figured out because a lot of the people I was looking up to didn't have anything figured out either. Now, I'd always been living my life looking up to people thinking that everyone had everything figured out, but it wasn't until I went through my drug problem and I had to go get clean that I met a lot of people who didn't have things figured out, but they really seemed like they did. It is so insane looking back on it now because when I was getting clean from drugs, I had met so many people that were in a similar situation to me, but they were so successful in life. Now, I'm not gonna name any names because it's none of my business to do so, but I'll tell you what, I met some very interesting people. I'm talking C-level executives, athletes, influencers, people that were top of their class in school, but you never would have guessed that behind closed doors they had a drug problem or a drinking problem, or hell, maybe they had something else that I didn't know of, but they were all very successful people. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of the people we look up to and admire, we think that person's got their shit together, they know what they're doing, like they have no problems in their lives. We all have issues. There's always something that we're dealing with behind closed doors that nobody knows about. And a lot of these people we just assume don't have that going on in their life, but you have to stop thinking that way. I mean, hell, if you ask me, some of the most successful people I've ever met didn't have their shit together until they got to where they're at. Hell, a lot of them still don't have their shit together, and they may never have their shit together. But that's just the reality of it. We don't always have to look perfect. We don't have to be perfect at all. That's just life. I may not have my life together, but I feel like I put this outfit together pretty damn well today. And I know it's spring. I shouldn't be wearing a flannel in the spring, especially in Texas, but come on, dude, look at this. Okay, let's see, where were we? Getting your shit together, having your shit together. Shit, have together, have it all together. You know what I'm talking about, right? I think a lot of us are under the impression that we have to look good all the time. We have to be perfect, we have to look perfect, we have to do everything perfect. That way nobody judges us. My entire life, I thought if I just put on a show for everybody and said, hey, I got everything figured out, look at me, I'm so cool, they'd be like, hey, yeah, he does have it figured out. But as I got older, I realized that wasn't a very healthy lifestyle that I was living. Pretending to have everything figured out, pretending to be healthy doesn't necessarily mean you're living a good life. I think in my experience, I've discovered that for me to live a healthy lifestyle, for me to be successful, for me to be happy, I actually have to do the exact opposite and push back what society tells me to do because there's a lot of toxic things that I've learned from society that I don't enjoy in my life. You know, there's actually been quite a few instances where I've had to stop and question the toxic expectations that society's put on me. Hell, they probably put the same expectation on you. But sometimes I just have to step back and focus on what's really important to me, even if it's something that's less impressive to everybody else. I mean, if I'm being honest here, I don't think we actually owe everybody our best selves. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that having your shit together or pretending you do is kind of overrated. I mean, do I really look like I have my shit together? I mean, look at this place. Come on, look, I don't have a dining table. I have an empty dining room with a couple boxes in it because we moved 4 weeks ago. I still haven't got everything all set up. No dining table, nothing. I don't have anything put together. But you know what, dude? I really wish I had a dining table. Here's the dining table. How much do you think it costs? $2,000. That is exactly why I don't own a dining table. It's probably gonna be tough for you guys to tell, but my lens is starting to get wet again because it's raining. Seems like it's a common occurrence here that I wake up in the morning, it's nice and sunny and warm, and then I get outside, start filming and making a video, and it starts raining on me. So I don't know, I wanted to film outside because I really hate filming my apartment, but we'll see if I can find somewhere dry. All right, it looks like the rain's starting to lighten up just enough. I don't really know where to sit. So we have a cover here. Guess I'm just gonna chill with the butterflies. All right, we're gonna be quick because it's still sprinkling just enough and this camera's not weatherproof and I don't have enough money to buy a new one, so let's do this. Okay, now if there's one thing you can take away from this entire video, just one thing, the biggest thing you can learn today is that you don't always have to be happy. I think for obvious reasons, we assume the people that have a smile, the people that are laughing, the people that are enjoying life online, those are the people that have life figured out. They have everything put together because they never look sad. But it's so important to understand that everybody goes through the exact same ups and downs. The reason why you don't see it is because we don't share the negatives in our life. We don't share on social media that we're having a bad day. We don't share that stuff with anybody because it's not something we think people want to hear. Now, there's research that backs this up, but I'm going to be speaking more from my own personal experience and say that forcing yourself to be positive and forcing yourself to be happy all the time actually has more negative effects than you think. I feel like a huge portion of my life was spent trying to look good for other people, trying to impress other people by how happy I was, how great my life was. I went off to college, I was like, oh, I go to Arizona State, I'm having the time of my life. But deep down, I was miserable. Now, unless you're some award-winning actor, it's so hard to play a part that's not you all the time. Because it's so hard and so stressful, I personally found myself turning to negative coping mechanisms like drugs, alcohol, and other things that weren't good for me. Looking back on it, I spent the first half of my college career focusing more on what other people thought about me. I went to Arizona State. I wanted people to know that I was having fun. I was going to the coolest school in the world. I was doing drugs, I was partying, I was doing all the stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, but I was using it as a coping mechanism to take away from the fact that I was miserable. I was failing out of school, I didn't have any good friends, I was just caught up in a crowd I shouldn't have been in, and life sucked. The more miserable I got, the more I felt the need to fake it. And the more I faked it, the more miserable I got. It was just this crazy, vicious, never-ending cycle of feeling sad and just living an altogether terrible life. And unfortunately, this just got worse and worse until I learned how to express myself and be honest with myself. Now, this probably won't be the case for most people, but at least in my experience, it felt like for me, being honest was one of the best stress relievers I've ever experienced. When I started being honest with myself and everybody around me, it felt like this huge weight was lifted off my chest. I could finally tell people how I felt. I could finally talk to people the way I wanted to talk. I could vent, I could complain, I could just do the things I wanted to do, and nothing was holding me back anymore. Okay, so before I go inside and dry off, I at least want to clarify that it's okay to cry, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to not be happy all the time. The way I like to look at happiness is climbing a mountain. You can't climb a mountain and stay at the mountain for the rest of your life. You gotta come down at some point. I mean, technically, I guess you could live at the top of the mountain, but that doesn't really fit what I'm talking about right now. So for the sake of this argument, 99% of the time, you come down from the mountain. Either way, what I'm trying to get at is happiness isn't gonna be some straight line. You're gonna have your ups, you're gonna have your downs, because you can't experience the highs if you don't experience the lows. So understand it's okay to have those lows in your life. You need them. Personally, I think the lows are just as important as the highs because it really teaches you how to appreciate the highs in your life. Now let's go dry this thing off because I can't afford a new camera right now. Well, it is officially pouring rain out there. The day has gone from beautiful to flash flood warnings for the entire city of Austin. So looks like we're gonna wrap this up here at the apartment. Dude, it is absolutely insane how fast the weather changes here. Texas, you're crazy. You are absolutely insane. Let's go ahead and wrap up this video because I don't really have a lot left. The rain is pissing me off and I'm ready to end it. So let's see, how can we end this? All right, I've got an idea. Go ahead and ignore the office too. Like I said, I don't have my shit together. So this is the empty office that has been empty since we moved in and probably will be empty for another while. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Now I do wanna say one last thing, one important thing. And I know I already said earlier, like the most important thing you learn is this, but this is important too. Like just keep taking notes, learn everything from these videos, live it, love it, life revise it. I don't care, let's go. Now the one thing, or I guess the other thing you guys need to take from this video is that a good life, a healthy life, a fantastic life doesn't start with pretending to be somebody else. It doesn't start with pretending like you have your shit together. It starts with admitting that we don't. We just gotta stop living life in fear and hiding things and who we are from other people, and especially from ourselves. We gotta be who we are. I think now more than ever is a perfect time to admit that none of us have our shit together, and that is okay because that is the norm. There's absolutely no reason to keep hiding who we are, hiding the stuff that we're going through, hiding everything in our lives. We don't have to pretend to be someone else. We don't have to pretend like everything in our life is going great because I understand that it's not. You should understand that it's not because none of it is going well for all of us, and that is okay. Now I'm not saying life is gonna be like this all the time. I'm just saying understand that it is okay. Don't fear it. Don't be afraid of it. Accept it. It's a part of life and it's a good part of life because it teaches you to appreciate the goods of life and just understand that everybody goes through the same thing. So just take that, run with it, live it, love it, learn it. I don't care, whatever you gotta do. Thank you guys so much. So that's all I got before I just keep rambling on. I'm losing track right now. I'm like full-blown motivation speaker. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching. I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully next week's video is better. I'm sorry I got trapped inside because of the rain. I'm not good at filming inside, so bear with me please. But I will see you guys in the next video.